Hey everybody, thank you and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Cheryl Horvath and I'm with cardsbycheryl.com. I'm also an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I have a fun project to share with you that will get you going on your Christmas cards in no time at all, and you'll be amazed at how fast you can whip out some of these cards. So the set that we're going to be using today is called Perfectly Plaid, and I'm going to put the camera on so you can see the stuff better. And we can get going. But if you stick around to the end, you will be able to hear about the special promotion that I'm going to do to promote this particular product and help you guys get started with your cards. I do have a December host code going on. I'll bring this back into Zoom again towards the end, but it's also available on my website, cardsbycheryl.com. It'll be on the right hand side, and you can just click shop now and to shop with me. And any of the products that we use today, with the exception of I think maybe one thing, is available. Yeah, it's this ink pad. Is available through my online store. So if you're interested in shopping with me, I would appreciate earning your business. And let's get to it. Okay, so this is the set. Let me show you the cards that we're going to make. And I'm going to start with showing you a beginner card using this set. And even though this is a very simple beginner card, I just think it's adorable. And this is so easy to make. And I did a little coordinating envelope. So this is using a 6x6 piece of paper. So there's almost no waste. And so you just glue this flap onto this envelope to make it coordinating. And then you just have a square. I use the stitched rectangles die set to cut out this square, and you can see it's got some little decorative stitching around the border of it. Now, if you don't have an emboss machine and you don't want one and you're not interested in investing in anything for die cutting, you can just cut out a simple rectangle. And quite honestly, what we used to do back in the day before all these stitch dies came out is we used to just take a fine line pen in whatever color you wanted and just hand draw the stitches in. It's as easy as that, and it looks just as cool. So this is just a simple card with a popped up base. I've got a little bit of dimension under here. I used the punch to cut out the Christmas tree, and I stamped my Christmas. Oops, that's my notes. And then the inside is just a very simple message that also comes with the stamp set. So this is what I would consider beginner level and really easy to make and super fast. And I think anybody would find this cheerful to get. Okay, so there's card number one. Card number two looks like this, and this is a little bit more advanced. We don't have any die cutting in this particular card, but we've added a couple different elements. So we've added a sentiment, which is a separate standalone, and we've added some twine, and then a little bit more dimension where we've got punch outs, and then we have added popped up elements. And then on the inside, we have embellished it a little bit more. So this is my casual crafter card. Now the envelope is also stamped, and then I just put a little decorative flap with some extra paper that I had, scrap paper, so I'm trying not to waste any. The third one is my favorite. This is for the avid, but it's really not, it's not as scary as you think. It does have an embossed background. This is the snowflake embossing folder, and it's called Winter Snow. And you can get this in my online store, and it's very reasonable. It's like $7, $7.50. So I use that to emboss this background. Then I just added some designer series paper here, another sentiment, a popped up cut out Christmas tree. This is for ribbon. I forgot to pull that out. This is ribbon that comes with a particular set from the Christmas catalog, which I thought was really pretty, and it's got the coordinating mossy meadow color. Let me show you, see if I can find it quickly. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's the, and this is really pretty, and This is available also till the end of December, so if this looks like something you might really like, I think it goes into the archives December 30th. And this is called the Diagonal Stripe Ribbon in the Mossy Meadow color. Okay, and then, so this is a little bit more stepped up. It's got some gold rhinestones on here just to give it a little bling. I put a little silver rhinestone on the top of each tree, and the inside looks like this. So I used some scrap DSP paper, stamped a couple of images, and put in my sentiment. So those are the cards we're going to make today, and I've prepared a lot of this stuff already so that I don't keep you forever. So we're going to just start with the first one. You are going to need some ink and some dimensionals. The bundle I'm going to put together for you, I was going to wait to the end, but the bundle I'm going to put together for you, if you decide that you like these cards and you want to try making them yourself with this stamp set, this is $35 to buy this and this. If you choose to buy that from me, you're going to get included in it from me 6 Whisper White card bases and coordinating envelopes. You're going to get 2 yards of this ribbon. And like I said, this is going to be going off the catalog for order end of December. And you're going to get a 1/4 pack of the Designer Series paper that is from the Heartwarming Hugs collection. And what that means is I'm going to cut, there's 12 pieces of 12 by 12 paper, 6 different designs, double-sided. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into quarters, and you're going to get a 1/4 of it. So you'll get 2 6 by 6 pieces of paper of each design, so 12 sheets total. So that will be my gift to you. In addition to that, I'm going to ship it for free. So you're going to get about a $50 value if you buy the punch and the stamp set from me for $35. And I'll tell you more how to do that towards the end. Okay, so let's start here. Let me get my little note cheat sheet. So I got very precise with these dimensions, but honestly you don't have to. So I started with a simple Whisper White card base, which measures 5.5 by 8.5. So it's going to go like this. This is 4 1/4 by 5.5. And I just scored that and folded it down the side. Then you're going to cut a piece of your DSP paper, and it can be any pattern you'd like. I just really like this green checked. And this paper measures 3 5/8 by 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. And I'll have all the dimensions. The other thing that's going to come with this value kit that I'm offering is instructions on how to make each card. So you can have an actual printed PDF if you don't feel like going back to the video to learn how to make it. So we just cut this little piece of Designer Series paper, and we're going to take our stamp and seal. I don't have the plus yet. I just ordered it. Oh, come on. There we go. And we're just going to very simply adhere that down in the center of your card base, best you can. I just always eyeball it. So, like so. Then we're going to take our stitched rectangle that I cut out already using these dies. And this is 3 inches by 4 3/8. And what we're going to do now is we're going to punch the Christmas tree. And this I also just eyeballed. So you slide it in. You flip it over so that you can see where you're actually punching. And can you see where the paper is not? So you want to make sure that your paper slid all the way in. And then I just centered it from left to right inside the punch, just like this. Make sure it's straight and punch. And there you have it. So that is going to go on top of this. But before we glue that down, let's get and save these, because You never know when you might use them again. Okay, so now on to the stamping, which is one of my favorite parts. I love to stamp. So I'm going to grab the Merry Christmas stamp, and I'm just going to put it on my block. Ink it up really good, and I just eyeball it. And pray it's straight. Yay, it's straight. Okay, cool. Put up my stamp chamois here. Clean that off. So then we're going to grab our dimensionals. And I like to put one in each corner for sure. And then to support the center, I add a couple more. There. I love these dimensionals because the backings come off so easy. I have some off-brand dimensionals that I had in my stash from years ago, and I realized why they were in my stash, because the backings just don't come off very easy. Okay, so we just put that down. Oh, and the ribbon I used, you can really use any kind of ribbon you want, but the ribbon I used came from one of the, oh my goodness, I think it was a paper pumpkin kit. It's just red cranberry colored cherry cobbler colored ribbon, and you could do a couple of things. Let's see, let's do this differently. I'm going to do a double bow where I'm going to do red and some gold. And see what that looks like. I think it might be pretty. Give it a little bit of shine. So I don't even know how long this is. This is about 10 inches. So I'm just doubling it up. I'm just going to tie a regular bow. So that I get that pretty little red and gold with it. And you can sometimes pull each color individually so that you stagger the bows a little bit. See, like that. And then you're going to just trim off your ends. I like to leave mine a little bit long and wispy. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty. So then I'm going to take a glue dot. And I take your pick tool, which I don't know how I lived without for so long. I want the other end. This is the flat end. It's great for picking up rhinestones, and because most of the rhinestones that Stampin' Up sells have an adhesive backing, and so you just kind of scoop them up and lay them down. But when you're not using that end, you flip it over. It can use the sharp end, and what I do is I take this and I just kind of roll it a little bit so that it's not a circle anymore, because you don't want, the circle's a little bit too big for the knot and you don't want any stickiness to come out. So then I just place it down where I want it to stick, and I press that down. So there's that. Now we did an inside, yeah, we did an inside to this. So let's do that real fast. And I don't think I prepared the paper. Messing with my camera. Okay. So I always do an inside liner for my inside of the card because it gives a little bit more stability. And usually you have more going on the front side of your card than on the inside, so it feels top heavy. And so when you add a little insert like this, even though it's just white on white, it just gives it a little bit more stability and a little bit more of a finished look. And so the sentiment I used for this is, may the special season be wrapped in love and joy. I'm just going to mount that here. Use my grid lines to line this up, make sure my paper's straight. And then it's a little bit easier to make sure your sentiment goes on straight. Which, yay! It always makes me happy when I get it straight. Grab my Stampin' Seal. You always have to kind of get this started for some reason. I don't know why. I personally think it's kind of a product flaw, but I deal with it because the seal is actually really good. Put that on there, center it just like so, and boom. Super easy Christmas card. Now, if you wanted to do decorate the envelope like I did, the piece of paper, so let me use a different one as an example. When you cut the paper for the envelope flap, do I have an envelope flap? Let me grab one. That's not very kind. So when you're cutting this paper for this design of card, I designed it so that you only used one single sheet of 6x6 paper. And so these are Stampin' Up Whisper White envelopes. It's their stock envelope and they're very nice. They're sturdy, but they're not see-through and they don't weigh a ton. What I do is I open up my card flap. I lay this down and I butt it right up to the corner, the edge of the envelope, and I will glue it down. You know, if you want to measure and cut first, you can. For example, this is going to measure 2 3/8. So you could cut 2 3/8 to, let's see, 1 2 3/8. Do that again, 1 2 3/8. This is a super easy way to decorate your envelopes, guys. Then you lay this down. You put on your Stampin' Seal Plus, or not Plus, but whatever you have works. And then you just line it up to that crease where the envelope folds. And then you're going to cut away the excess. I do this in the trimmer, but it's super easy to just do like that. There. Isn't that fun? And of course all this paper coordinates, so you don't ever have to worry about the colors clashing or the greens not matching or whatever. If you stick within the same DSP, designer paper, color family, you're golden. Don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's card number 1. Card number 2 is a little bit more fun to make and a little bit more challenging. So that's this card right here. Okay, so now we have this. And we're going to bring the punch in. And this is where it gets a little complicated, but it's not too bad. You basically, to get the placement, now you could totally eyeball this yourself. I wasn't comfortable doing that because I wanted them specifically staggered a little bit. Like I wanted the center one to be up and these two to be down a little bit. So what I did was I just took a ruler and I found the center of the paper. And the center of the paper is 2 5/8. So I just grabbed a pencil and went 2 5/8 right here. And I made a mark and then I made a line. Then from there, the center between here and here is 1 5/16. So that's what I said. It's getting a little technical. Let's see, 1 2 3 4 5/16. and then I made a line straight up and down, just a light hand. Don't press too hard because you have to erase it. And then the center point between here and here measures 3 15/16. How about that? So 3 15/16 would be right here. And I'm going to draw a light line right there. Then what you want to do is punch your middle tree. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to line the center pencil line up with the center of your tree punch. So, and I have it pushed all the way to the bottom, so it can't go any further. So I don't know if you can see, the pencil line is right in the center of the tree. Makes it really easy to line up. So we're going to punch that. Then what I do to make sure I get the other two just right, where's my ruler? Oh, it's clear, it's hard to see. I put my ruler where I want the top of the tree to be. So like this right here is down about, oh no, ½ inch or so from the top of this tree. So I just pick a spot that I think looks pretty good. And I'm going to go like that, and I'm going to make a crosshatch over that first line we made. So there's 2 lines. Can you see that? So now when we put our punch in, sorry about that. We're going to line that cross up to the top of the tree and make sure it's centered. And you can see that we cut into the other one. That's okay, it's going to get covered up, so don't worry about it. Then we're going to line this one up again the same way. Put it towards the top, the crosshairs, top of the tree, and punch. And so now we have our 3 trees punched out. The next thing we have to do is punch out the color, the inserts for these. So you can do them all the same, you can do them all different. Let's see, do I have any punched out already? I do. So let's go back to, oh, I need a new card base because I messed that one up. So let's go back to our card base here. And this is going to go down like this. And then you'll notice that there's a front and a back. So like these line up this way. But if you said, oh no, I want to use this color, it doesn't line up. So you have to be cognizant of that when you punch your paper, which side you actually want to appear through. And so I'm going to go with all the same, like this. And what you're going to do is going to glue those down. So let's start with gluing that down. We're going to get rid of the pencil marks here. Well, that's a bad eraser. Have you guys tried this mechanical eraser? It's kind of funky. I sometimes don't like it. I kind of feel like sometimes it's easier to just erase normally with your hand. But okay. So now we're going to get that out of the way, and we're going to put some adhesive down. Like so. And we're going to, I feel like it didn't punch quite good enough right there. Do that. And then we're going to put this down. Center it like so. Next, we're going to just pop in our little inlay trees. You can use liquid glue for this too if you want more coverage over all the little ends. But for sake of time, I'm just going to do this. Just like putting a puzzle together. there, those are all in there now. Okay, easy squeezy. There we go. Gonna put this down. Just like so. Next, we need to stamp these two little guys and cut them out. So let's do that. I have some scrap stamping paper here. This is not really scrap, it's Whisper White, but that's what I like to use. You can use any variety you like. You can use this little plaid background one, which is kind of fun. This is a more realistic looking tree, which doesn't really, in my mind, doesn't really match the theme of this particular card. It's more whimsical and this is more realistic. This is the filler for this. So if you can see, it is actually double stamped with green in the center and black on the outside. So that's what we're going to do. And that's takes some patience to line up, but it is totally possible. And you got to have some kind of good eyes. So you start with the outline shape first. And I'm just going to put this on my block. Stamp that up really good. And when you use punches, you always want to stay towards the bottom because you can't, if you were to stamp right in the center, you can't get the paper up there. So you always stamp around the perimeter of the paper when you use punches. At least I do. So we're going to do a couple of these. Like so. And the coordinating colors for this paper set for the greens are Mossy Meadow and Pear Pizzazz. And so I did Mossy Meadow, I think, on a different one, and it was a little bit too dark. So I'm going to come in with the Pear Pizzazz and do the fill-in for the leaves. Now, if you have the Pear Pizzazz marker, you could also color it in. If you didn't feel comfortable trying to line it up, the two-stamp process, you could try coloring it in. Okay. So this is a test now to see how good I can do this while I'm on camera. So this is the stamp that has the filler for the leaves. And you're just going to carefully start at the top. And my head's probably going to get in the way. Sorry. I have to have my head square over this so that I can see, so don't mind my hair. Square at the top, and then slowly, you can actually see the image through the ink. Slowly drop your stamp down until you get to the paper. And oh my gosh, that's almost perfect. If I do say so myself. Okay, here comes my head again. Sorry. I'm going to get my hair done tomorrow, thank goodness. There. Easy squeezy, right? Okay, let's put this away. I had to just order re-inkers because I didn't buy the re-inkers with the stamps. I don't know why. But I need them because I've been using a lot of green. So now, you're just going to slide this in, line it up very carefully. See how easy that is? I love, there's something so satisfying about that punching sound. And having this thing pop out perfectly, I just love it. Okay, so now, where's our, here we go. Now we're going to put these on with some dimensionals. And again, I kind of staggered them a little bit. Just to give it a little something extra. Oh, cute. I love it so far. Okay, next we're going to do the sentiment strip, which is right here, the North Pole delivery. And I cut that to be 3/4 of an inch by, I think, 3.5 inches long. I hope I did anyway. Yeah. And then I'm still collecting all of the blocks. I love the Stampin' Up! Blocks because they're so thick and it helps to keep your fingers out of the ink, because the ink pads are very juicy. So I'm just going to ink this up with my black ink of choice. Get the ink off my fingers first. And I'm going to just center it, eyeball it, and center it. Give it a good press. Beautiful, I love it. And then I'm going to come in with my banner Pick-a-Punch. Whatever I did with it. Oh, here it is. So this is the banner Pick-a-Punch, and the way this works is you can cut the flag end or you can cut the outside, the pointy outside end. And you have 3 different sizes. You start with 3/4 of an inch, a 1/2 inch, all the way up to an inch. So you just slide the paper in the groove for the size that it fits. And I'm going to use the end that does the point outwards. So you just slide this in into that groove. Slide it in just like that. You can turn it around and check to make sure that it's lined up properly. And just punch it out. So I'm going to do that on both sides. Beautiful. That's that. Okay. So this is going to go here, and we're going to pop that up. But before we do that, we're going to add the twine to it. And I just have a spool of this all-purpose twine that I use. I don't know how many inches I had yet, but I will measure for you. And let's see. So what I do is I leave a tail about this long. What is that? That's about 6 inches long. And then I kind of put my thumb where I want the bow to be. So in this case here, my thumb is going to be right about here because that's where my bow is going to be. So I put my thumb right about here and I hold the excess out like that. Actually, I do it like this. So you open the card and then you wrap it as many times as you want. I like to do 3 because it's just, I don't know, I like it. So I'm still holding, and I pull out about another 6 inches and I give it a snip. Now while I'm still holding, I haven't let go yet. I haven't let go yet. And I'm going to tie my bow right about here. And I'm going to hold it, grab my sentiment, and make sure it's in the spot that I want it to be. And you know what? I'm a little bit too far in. Am I a little bit too? I am a little bit too far in. So we're going to just sneak this back a little bit. Test it again. There, perfect. Now the trick that I do, Stampin' Up doesn't sell this product either, but it's a EK Tools, and it's a tweezers that is defaulted shut, closed shut. So to open it, you have to press. So I struggle with bows, and so I learned this a few years ago. I saw somebody doing it on YouTube. You put your tweezers in and you clamp it down, and then you tie your bow, and you don't have to worry about it getting loose because you're not holding it tight enough. So you tie your bow pretty tight, pull the tweezers out, and then you can adjust your bow just like that. Cute. Okay. So I don't think that Stampin' Up has a competing product for that, so I think I can link that in the below link also. Next, we're going to put this little sentiment strip on top with dimensionals, and I'm going to use the mini dimensionals because I want to basically create a valley in between, so where the twine can sit, because if I put dimensionals in the center of the strip, it's going to stick way up. So I basically want it to be able to settle down and have dimensionals on each side of the edge, so that the twine rests on the paper and the dimensionals fall on each side of it like that. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard to describe. So I'm just doing this. So like I said, I'm making like a trough for the center. Line this up with the points on top of the twine, left to right, best you can. Press down, and voila. I like to take a bone folder and just make sure it's a nice crisp fold. And then I can probably cut a little bit of this off. There. There's your finished card. Now I did do on the inside a little stamping, and this is second generation stamping, so it's not full strength. So I'm not going to go through doing that because we'll just be on here too long. But you basically ink up your stamp it off on a scrap piece of paper, and then bring it to your project and stamp, and that gives it a much lighter color, and it's not quite so bold for the inside. So there's card number 2. Okay, get some of this out of the way. I hope you're still hanging in there with me. I love these cards. I designed them yesterday. It took me a while because I was vacillating on which papers to use and whatnot, but I thought it came out beautiful. All right, last card, which is also my favorite, is this one, and this has a lot of dimension to it. So I used, for the dimension behind the snowflake background, instead of putting dimensionals all over it, which you could, you just will waste a lot of them. You'll not waste, but you'll go through a lot of them. I use a piece of fun foam, and I buy this in bulk. I like literally buy 50 to 100 sheets of white and black at a time because I use it so much, and it saves on going through all your dimensionals quite so. And it also goes through the mail nicer because your dimensionals, you know, the mail goes through this little machine that squishes it, and so sometimes I've gotten cards that have been completely flattened out, and there's indentations where there weren't dimensionals on the back of the raised panel. So I started putting foam on there for that. And I used my card base. I used up my card base, so let me grab another one. So we scored it right here, and it's going to be a side fold card. So it'll actually open like that, which is fine. Okay. First things first, we have a piece of Mossy Meadow green cardstock that is cut to 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and I've cut that already. So that just gets adhered down, so that part's easy. Then we're going to do the snowflake background, and again, this was done with the Winter Snow Snowflake Embossing Folder, which I've used a ton already. I love this guy. And we're going to put another piece of foam. I cut the foam just a smidge smaller than this. Oh, and I forgot to tell you those dimensions. So the this is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. Again, I'll have all this stuff in a PDF for you if you guys want. You have to order from me though to get it. It's a lot of work preparing these cards and designing them. Okay, so I'm going to put on some adhesive here. You can use glue, and you can decide which side you want to be up. Like this is the debossed side where it's pressed in, and this is the embossed side where it's pushed out, and I like this side best. So I'm going to put this right in here like that. Okay, now because I have the twine wrapped around this panel, we can't glue this down yet. So we're going to continue decorating the front of this, and that requires a piece of designer series paper, whatever you choose. I'm going to just mix it up a little bit and use some of my scraps. So I'm going to do this one, this color here, and this was cut 4 7/8 by 1 1/2 inches tall. And this just gets glued down straight to the center. Easy squeezy. Okay. I have a tiny bit of hang off, which my OCD bugs me, so I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. just like that. And we need to put the ribbon down. And this is also very easy to do. You just cut a strip like that, like so. Grab your Seal and Plus. Run a line on each side. Just like that. And then carefully lay it down straight. What I like to do is pull it real tight and then get it where I want it, just like that, and press. And the same for this one. Then on the back, I'm just going to put a little tape here, here, and here, and fold these over so that you're not wasting a ton of ribbon by wrapping it all the way around. Okay, the next thing we can do is now add the twine. And actually, before we do that, let us get to some stamping, because I'm going to want to use these to make sure I'm positioning the twine in the right place. So let's set this aside for a second, and we're going to heat emboss with white embossing powder these 3 Christmas trees. And I have a scrap piece. This was the piece I used to create those 3 from. So I'm just going to flip this over and punch 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And that's probably scrap now. So now I have these 3 little trees, and we're going to grab some white embossing powder. That's clear. This is white. And we stamp. Where did my stamp go? This guy, so the one with all the leaves. And for that you need some Versamark watermark ink. And this is just sticky ink that lets the embossing powder stick to it. But before you do that, you want to prepare it with a anti-static powder. This is an embossing buddy that I just clipped a paper clip to it because it's easy to handle and I don't get my hands all chalky. But there's another tool out there that dispenses it a little bit nicer with like a brush. So my greatly used. So what you're going to want to do is just take your stamp, ink it up. I'm going to probably get my head in the way again here. And come down on, oops, I can tell this is on the wrong side. Remember I told you there was a right side and a wrong side? So now I want to re-emboss that. That's better. Okay, so then you're just going to come down and you have a light layer of embossing ink on there. Let's see if I have this the right way. Nope, these are all upside down. So I'm going to do that. There's that one. That one's a little bit off center, but hey, it's a handmade card. It's not supposed to be perfect, right? This one was not right. There. Sorry about the headshot, guys. Okay, so now those are inked up. And I keep my embossing powder in a tray because it's easier for me than to get out a piece of paper and catch it and do all that stuff. So I use a tweezers and a tray, especially for small stuff. And I just dip it in, tap, tap, tap. Make sure you got nice good coverage. There's one. Tap, tap, tap. And 3. So then I'm going to grab my heat tool, put that back. Actually, that's going to fall on me if I don't move it. Grab my heat tool, and I like to use the Wagner. And I don't know why, probably because somebody told me it was good, but this is going to be loud, and so I will probably fast forward through this for you. So let it warm up for a second. Okay, so now we have these done. We need to stamp the sentiment. I could have stamped all these at once, I suppose, when we were doing this, but hindsight. Okay, clean that off. I keep telling my husband I need a much bigger workspace. This is all I have for the moment. We were talking about a she shed, and then we dug into it a little bit more, and it just didn't make sense to do it. So, ixnay on the edge. How many of you knew Pig Latin? That's fun. My girlfriend and I used to always talk in Pig Latin all the time. It's crazy. It drove my mom nuts. Okay, where did my banner go? So now we're going to do the banner thing again. Slide that in there. Straight to me. This one's a little wider on this end to make sure it's straight. Okay. Again, that's 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches wide. Okay, so now we have everything, and we're going to put these down like so. That one's going to get popped up. This is going to go right. Oh, I have some adhesive exposed there I need to rub off. So that's going to go about right there. Oh my gosh, I love this card. And so we're going to grab some more twine, and I'm going to do the same thing. So this card, the twine needs to go about right here. So which is right outside this snowflake right here. So I'm going to use that, eyeball that, and use that as my guide. So I'm going to kind of put my thumb there and pull out a tail about 6 inches long, put my thumb right about there, and wrap. Actually, I should have done it with my left hand. And wrap, and then cut a tail about 6 inches. And it looks like the bow is going to fall right about the bottom of that ribbon. So I'm going to position my knot right there. What did I do with my tweezers? There they are. Hold that down. Tie a little bow. And of course you always have to fuss with the bow. Okay, like so. Now we can adhere this down. Let's see, do I want to use, yeah, pretty sure I used this for the back. This stuff is strong, man. This is one of those cards you want to send to somebody that you know they're not going to probably pitch it as soon as they open it up. That would make me very sad. Okay, then you're just going to center this down like so. Now we're ready to put on our trees. This one went up, and this one came down like that. Yeah, okay. This one goes up a little bit. Go on top like that. And this I'm going to pop up. Where did I had a pack of dimensionals already going. Here they go. So put one there, and one there. And then this is going to get popped up also. The same thing here is you want to make sure you avoid your adhesive wherever the twine is going to be. So I'm not going to use very many. I'm just going to put one here and one about here. And then one on the end. Okay, so we want this guy to be right about there. We're going to tuck him under. Make sure the twine's out of the way. Move it up a little bit so that red pops out, like so. Okay, we are almost done. We need to add some bling. And I think my knot is upside down. Oops, it's completely undone is what it is. Let's do this again. See, you can do it without the tweezers, I just don't like to. There. Now let's mess with it. Oops. I'm going to use my glue dot because I see I'm lifting up here a little bit. I didn't put enough tape on there, so I'm going to use my glue dot. And I'm just going to stick that down. Like so. There. And then I noticed that I'm not really supported over here on this side with the dimension, so I'm going to grab another dimensional. You learn as you go, right guys? And I'm just going to tuck this under here like that. Pull off the tab, and there, that's better. And then I'm going to put another glue dot because this is bugging me too. Right there. Okay, the last thing to do is Rhinestone Basic Jewels. These are so pretty. I'm going to just randomly place these. I kind of like where I had them here, so I used the smaller ones. Oops, this is where you want the other end. So I use the smaller ones. Stuck to my finger. Let's see, where did I put it? Oh, I put one right there. Right there. And then I put a big one on, it's flying everywhere. Put a big one on the tops of the trees. And then I put 3 little ones down here. This just gives it a finished look, I think. And then a couple up here. If you don't want to use quite so many, you don't have to, but if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. That's what I always say. Okay, there you have it. Isn't it cute? Get this out. Might trim this bow a little bit more. There. There's a lot of variations you could do with this. You could add, obviously you can change up the style of paper. If you didn't care for this style, you could do something a little bit more traditional and less, this is a little kind of modern, I think. You could do some of your basic buffalo plaids or just any holiday paper that you have. So I'm not gonna spend the time going over how I do the inside with you because it's pretty simple, but you basically just cut another insert. I just put a piece of scrap paper here, stamped. This is not second generation stamping, that's first generation stamping, and then added a sentiment. So, pretty cute, huh? I like them. Okay, let me turn back around for a minute because I just want to talk to you again about what I'm going to offer. So what I'd like for you to do is to become a customer of mine. I'd even like it more if you signed up as a demonstrator so that you could be a discount shopper. And what that means is you spend $99 to get $125 worth of product. And if you do that now, you would become a demonstrator in the month of December, which means you would get to pre-earn points for Celebration. And Celebration is where for every $50 or $100 you spend, you will be eligible to pick a free product, either a level 1 or a level 2. So a level 1 product is for every $50 you spend, or a level 2 product is for every $100 you spend. So so that's the neat part about Celebration and becoming a demonstrator in the month of December. If you don't want to become a demonstrator, but you just want to buy the product, what I would like to offer you is to spend $35 with me, and you will get the stamp set, which I don't even know where I put it now. Here, the stamp set and the punch for $35. And what I will throw in there is free shipping, some card bases for you to get started on, a quarter pack of that specialty designer paper that I showed you, and 2 yards of the green ribbon and free shipping. So you're going to get about a $50 value for $35. And you're going to get forever gratefulness from me for being my customer. So I would love to have you sign up under me. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'm going to leave a bunch of stuff in the links below. If you are interested in this order, please message me, and I will. What I'm going to do is take orders for the next couple days, and let's see. I should probably set a date. So today is Tuesday. I'll take orders till Friday, and see if there's any interest in this, and then I'll put one big order in, and I will get all the product, I'll assemble it, I'll put the kits together, and then I'll ship them out to you ASAP. So if you are not necessarily interested in this particular stamp set, but you do want to order some other products, please don't forget about my host code for December, which is also on my website. And what this allows you to do is to take advantage of some of the free rewards that I would get for you signing up under this particular order. So what that means is I would be able to buy additional product that I can then turn around and give back to you as thank yous and rewards for being my customer. So if your order is $150 or less, you want to use this code. If it's over $150, you do not want to use that code because you'll get the rewards yourself anyway if you go past $150. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions at all, email me, Cheryl@cardsbycheryl.com. Go to my website and do the shop with me now if you'd like, or if you're interested in the Perfectly Plaid bundle, email me and let me know, and I'll send you a PayPal invoice for $35, and that's all she wrote, and then you'll get your kit in a week or two. Get ready to start doing those cards. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you hit the little bell button so that you can stay up to date when new videos come out. I'm trying to be a lot more diligent about getting videos out every week. I'm even thinking about maybe doing a live every week, but I don't know. I'm intimidated by that, so we'll see if I can get it to work. Maybe I can get a buddy to go live with me and help me out. But thanks for sticking with me if you're still here, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.